Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane Planidin, and you're in the right place if you're ready to create an inspired life. And we do so by working on our own personal development so we can be strong role models for those we love and mentor, and strong for our own personal well-being. Well, we are on the next chapter through Zig Ziglar's book, See You at the Top. And this week is all about how important putting some work into your effort is on your pathway to success. Here's how the chapter opens up. Work is the foundation of all businesses, the source of all prosperity, and the parent of genius. Work can do more to advance youth than his own parents, be they ever so wealthy. It is represented in the humblest savings and has laid the foundation of every fortune. It is the salt that gives life its savor, but it must be loved before it can bestow its greatest blessing and achieves its greatest end. When loved, work makes life sweet, purposeful, and fruitful. Work makes life purposeful. I love that, because what are we all looking for? We're looking for the meaning of life. We're looking for our raison d'etre. What gives us the ambition and the drive to continue to be and to be successful at whatever you're doing? This is an interesting quote. He goes on to say, the most practical, beautiful, workable philosophy in the world won't work if you won't. Education covers a lot of ground, but it doesn't cultivate it. It doesn't cultivate the ground. It takes work, it takes patience, it takes planning. Now, think about that. This is springtime right now, and we're all out in the garden planting seeds, excited for a new breath of fresh air. But if you don't work that, just a simple explanation, if you don't nurture it, if you don't work at it daily, if you don't water daily, your seeds will not come into fruition. And it's the same at anything you do. Just because you have the education or you bought the supplies or whatever the case may be, it's not going to do the work for you. That can of paint has to be opened and someone has to apply it to the wall. Buying the supplies doesn't do it for you. Nobody is going to do it for you, right? Oh, I love that. Work, he says. In order to succeed, you must know what you're doing, like what you are doing, and believe in what you're doing. That's a quote from Will Rogers. Belief is so, so important. And he talks about the attitude. We talked about this a little bit already, but people who succeed, they work hard because they truly enjoy their careers and the work involved. The top people in any field get involved in what they're doing, becoming engrossed, dig in, and their success comes because they love what they're doing. They choose to spend those hours at their work. They have a job, but more importantly, the job has them. In short, they have a tremendous attitude, which often changes a job from drudgery to pure joy. That is one reason he says he's emphasized the importance of having the right mental attitude. And I'm going to link that in the show notes. One of the most popular chapters. What is this book? It's all about your own self-image. So that's super exciting. And, work isn't always fun and games. You're going to have to bleed sometimes. You're going to have to sweat sometimes. You're going to have to put in the extra hours. But it's all worth it because it's everlasting, it's evergreen, and it's so, so beautiful. And he talks about the story of Renoir, a famous painter who, towards his later years in life, became very arthritic and had a very, very difficult time holding a paintbrush. But every day he persevered because he loved what he did. He loved it. It was coursing through his veins. And someone asked him, it's like, you're well established. You've painted a lot. Why are you still painting here? Like, come on. Aren't you in pain every day, every time you pick up that brush because of your arthritis? And Renoir replied by saying, "The pain passes, but the beauty remains." I might have to just make that my new screensaver. The pain passes, but the beauty remains. The imprint remains. The into eternity, right? And you just never know who is going to see your work years from now, 100 years from now. That pain gave Renoir quite a bit of gain now, didn't it? That's amazing. So Zig says, consider work a privilege because it gives us more than a living. It gives us preparation for life. Work is a privilege and it prepares you for life. It prepares you for learning about how the world works, how life works, learning what you do and how it comes to fruition. You know, when I was young, I lived on a vineyard slash orchard, and man, that was work. That was really hard physical work. Not just for me. I mean, I couldn't obviously do it all the time. I was going to school, but interestingly enough, when you have a passion, my parents loved growing food for other people, growing grapes, growing apples, you name it. It was a lot of work, but their hard work paid off in the long term. And it really taught me the value of being able to work hard at something, fill a bucket, one cherry at a time, and watch that grow into 500 pounds of fresh cherries. I mean, that's what it is. It's a drop in the bucket. And you keep making those little drops in the bucket, and your life will be a bowl of cherries. You will come to fruition. You will have that abundance. That's where the work really pays off. Here's what I like this: work week or week work. When you give somebody something, for free, you deny them their dignity. And when you deny them their dignity, you rob them of their destiny. That is so true because we all need that reason. We all need to feel that dignity because otherwise you just feel berated and beaten down, and handouts do not make a strong person. So he goes on to say, fewer people are bent from hard work than are crooked from avoiding it. Actually, life is like a grindstone. The stuff you're made of will determine whether it grinds you down or polishes you up. Beautiful, like a diamond, right? So you have to figure out, what are you doing with your life? Are you building your empire, your own personal empire for you and your family? Or are you destroying it? Are you just, man, I just can't do this anymore, so I'm not going to. Haha. Failure is a way of moving forward. And if failure is not really an action, it's your perception. You just keep trying again and again. And eventually you'll get better and better. So Zig adds a quote from General MacArthur. And he said, security is the ability to produce. The person who gains his own self-respect and self-confidence by producing for his own needs is infinitely more secure than the one who leaves a solution to his problems or needs in the hands of someone else. Work gives us more than our living. It gives us our life. It gives us security. It gives us freedom, freedom to explore, freedom to just get out in the world. Absolutely fantastic. Here we go. This segment is called You Only Fail by Giving Up. Words like persistence, dedication, extra effort, and the blood, sweat, and tears that Churchill so eloquently described as he aroused England for her finest hour might not sound glamorous, but they work and are prime ingredients in a recipe for greatness. The recipe for greatness. You've got it. Here's the ingredients if you missed it. Persistence, dedication, extra effort, blood, sweat, and tears. Love it. And regardless of how many times you are knocked down, you have to get up again. You have to keep trying. We learn this as children, that it works. You keep trying, don't you? Every year, as you gain more and more information and become more and more knowledgeable and create an inner wisdom within yourself, you know how to learn. And you learn how to learn, and you learn how to process that information. Why do we give up once we finish school? Never give up. Just keep moving forward. Just keep trying. Action wins the race. And if you're idle, you're not doing anything for you or society. You have to keep moving. And I know you want to because that's why you're here. So he goes on to say, when you know in your own mind that you've given something your very best effort and you didn't succeed, don't quit. Simply start another project. Persist until you succeed. I did a whole series on that with Augmentino. Absolutely brilliant. Failure, he says, has been correctly identified as the line of least persistence. Aha, success is often a question of simply sticking to a job, working and believing while you are sticking. If your particular job is harder than you might wish, just remember you can't sharpen a razor on a piece of velvet, and you can't sharpen a person by spoon feeding them. You gotta keep moving, right? Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. Many times it is just over the hill or around the corner. Sometimes it takes that extra push to climb that hill or round that curve. You have to keep moving. You have to believe in yourself. Believe. That is key. Persistence overcomes resistance. I like that. He says, as you continue your journey to the top, you must remember that each rung of the ladder was placed there for a purpose of holding your foot just long enough to step higher. It wasn't put there for you to rest on. And that's how you make progress. You keep one foot in front of the other. You're climbing a ladder, you're climbing stairs, whatever visual you're using for you as you're moving it to the top. Just think about the ladder. Could you skip a few steps and still get to the top? No, you would fall down and you'd start all over again. So that's what he means. 1 foot, stepping stones. No shortcuts here. No shortcuts. We all love shortcuts in this day and age, but here we go. The opportunity for greatness doesn't knock. It's inside every one of us. However, we must work to get it out. It's within you. It's already there. You already have everything you need within you. Put that CPU in your mind to work. And he says there's no such thing as a lazy person. They're either sick or uninspired. And he says, at the risk of oversimplification, I believe many lazy people have an image attitude problem. They are reluctant to give their job or profession a total effort, feeling that if they give it their all and don't make it, they'll be failures. They rationalize that if they give a half-hearted effort and don't make it, they've built-in excuse. In their own minds, they don't feel like a failure because they did not really try. They often shrug their shoulders and say, it doesn't make any difference to me. It's the same way with many workers. Many times the unwillingness to work stems from other and deeper problems, and that's where the uninspired situation really comes into play. He says, with this in mind, let me urge you to take another look at yourself. If at this point you are harboring any feelings of a poor image attitude, go back to this segment we did on self-image. I will definitely connect that into the show notes. It's really good. And it's really important as you listen to each chapter and you listen to the little golden nuggets I'm passing on your way, you really need to believe in yourself. And man, I'm just telling you, that is not easy for anyone to be on all the time. It's not easy. It's work. And you're going to have setbacks. You're going to feel like that whack-a-mole. And that's why we're here for each other. We're encouraging each other on, keeping going every week. Just keep moving forward one step at a time. And he has a little story here. I'm going to net it down for you. But he says, whatever you're doing, work at it with the right attitude and the right habits. But above all, keep at it with bulldog tenacity and persistence, a steady effort. If you do that long enough, hard enough, and enthusiastically enough, sooner or later, the effort will bring forth the reward. You have to believe it. And he gives a little story about being at a water well and manually pumping the water out of the well, one at a time. The deeper the well, the more persistence you have to give in order to bring the water to the surface. So sometimes it's going to take longer. Sometimes you have to keep going so you can quench your thirst, right? The water well example is really, really good because if you let your hand go, say, I'll try again tomorrow, you're going to have to start from scratch because now all the water that you were bringing to the surface, all the success that you were building upon will go all the way down again. You'll start again at square one. That's why you have to keep moving forward every day. Do a little bit, just a little bit every day. And over time, you will be rewarded. But it's sort of like taking your foot off the gas, right? Don't take your foot off the gas if you want to keep moving forward. He says it's your right as a free person to work as long as you wish, as hard as you wish, and as enthusiastically as you wish to get everything in life you really want. Once that flow of water starts, just maintain that steady pressure, and the time will come when the rewards will be so enormous that you'll be getting what you want instead of having to want what you have. And that's really all about momentum. Once you get that momentum going, I'm going to show you my book. It's a little tattered, but get that momentum going and you can build and build and build one drop at a time, one chair at a time, one inspired life at a time. Your life is changing, all for the better. Know this, you are not alone. We are in this together. Everybody goes through setbacks. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody is exactly human, regardless where you are in the world. This methodology will work for you as long as you work towards what you're wishing for and creating in your new best life. Well, if you like the show, share it with somebody you know, and hey, hit that subscribe button. I am working very diligently on increasing my social profile so people can find the show and maybe share it with somebody you know. I'll see you next week for the final chapter, which is all about desire.